Denji is a miserable orphan stuck paying off the mountain of debt his deadbeat dad left behind to the mafia. By all logic, he should have been dead already. But in this world, human fears take the shape of devils, and not all of them are enemies. His closest companion is Pochita, the chainsaw devil, who helps him chop down both trees and devils just to scrape together some cash. Things take a dark turn when the mafia betrays him and leaves him for dead. In that moment, Pochita sacrifices himself, merging with Denji to revive him as Chainsaw Man, giving him the chance to keep fighting and maybe, just maybe, chase the life he's always dreamed of. The story kicks off with Denji wrapping up a hunt against the Tomato Devil when his mafia handler shows up to collect the spoils. The handler tells Denji that the Tomato Devil's body parts will fetch a fortune on the black market and generously offers him 400,000 yen. Denji's face lights up, but the old crook immediately deducts loan payments, service fees, and whatever else he can think of, leaving Denji with only 70,000 yen. By the time Denji pays off bills and other debts, his entire monthly budget shrinks down to a pathetic 1,800 yen. Back at the rundown shack he calls home, Denji and Pochita split a single slice of bread for dinner. Denji muses about how normal people eat bread with jam or butter, but he can't even dream of affording luxuries like that. Denji then drifts into darker thoughts, admitting he'll probably never have a girlfriend. Staring out the window at the rain, he mutters that before he dies, he'd at least like to sleep with a woman once. The downpour pulls him back to the day everything in his life flipped upside down. His father had just taken the coward's way out, leaving behind nothing but a mountain of mafia debt. The old crook handling the account told young Denji to cough up 700,000 yen by morning or he'd be joining his dad in the grave. And that's when Denji turned around to see a tiny devil with a chainsaw sticking out of its head, looking oddly like a dog. At first, Denji froze in terror, ready to accept his death at the hands of a devil. After all, with his debt, he figured he'd die soon anyway. But then he noticed something. The little chainsaw devil was wounded. And after losing his dad, he couldn't stomach seeing another life fade away. So, he offered his own blood to heal it. The devil sank its teeth into his arm, and Denji told it straight. This wasn't charity, it was a contract. From now on, it was the devil's turn to help him because he wanted to live too. The very next day, Denji proved that partnership worked. With the chainsaw devil's help, he took down his first devil, and that's when the mafia decided to hire him as their personal devil hunter. Snapping back from his memories, Denji suddenly starts coughing up blood. The sight rattles him. His mother had died the same way, hacking her life out bit by bit. Before he can dwell on it, there's a knock at the door. The old crook is there, telling him he's got a job. Denji follows him out to an abandoned warehouse on the edge of the city. As they arrive, a chill runs through him. Something about this setup feels wrong. The old man tells Denji that he worked nicely as their dog for all this time, but he hated the foul stench he gave off. Before Denji could understand anything, one of the gangsters stabbed him and Pasha with a sword. As Denji falls to the ground, the old bastard tells him that he also made a contract with the devil to become more powerful. Suddenly, a huge detestable devil comes forth leading an army of zombies. He tells Denji that the mafia people were so stupid that they became its slaves just for the promise of power, not realizing that anyone who makes a contract with the zombie devil becomes a zombie, too. The giant devil commands the zombies to kill Denji and throw him in the dumpster because it hates all devil hunters. Denji picks up the cheetah and runs towards the exit, but the zombies are relentless. They slash him and bring him down to the ground and begin violently stabbing him. As Denji screams in pain, he wonders why he can't even have his dream of living a plain and normal life. Moments later, his chopped-up body is put inside a dumpster. A drop of blood trickles down and enters Paka's mouth, waking it up for the final time. He recalls the time Denji told him that his only regret will be if he dies while fighting devils. And Paka is left alone. He asked Pasha to take over his body if he dies early and then get out of town to live and die like a normal person. So Pitta begins using its power to bring Denji's body together again. And then suddenly Denji sees him in a dream. He asks his friend if he succeeded in taking over his body. And Paka suddenly speaks, saying that he loved hearing him talk about his dreams. He tells Denji that this is their new contract. He is giving him his devil heart. And in exchange, Denji must make his dreams come true and show them to him. Denji suddenly wakes up with this to find his body completely healed up and the cord that was present on Pitta's tail is now in his chest. The zombies also notice him, and the zombie devil tells them to eat him up this time. Denji is furious at them for getting in the way of his dream, and he pulls the cord just as the zombies begin jumping on him. They try to eat him, but then suddenly Denji emerges from the mess with chainsaws protruding from his arms and head. The zombie devil is dumbfounded to see this, and then Denji lunges towards it, dealing deep damage to its eye with his chainsaws. The zombie devil screeches in pain, and then hits him away with a tentacle. Even after bumping into a steel column and then falling to the ground, Denji is still fine. A big zombie attacks him with an iron rod, but it doesn't do any damage to his helmet. He slashes through the zombies, and then the zombie devil throws its minions at him to keep him at bay. Denji cuts through them and charges at the zombie devil again, killing all the devils that stand in his way. He leaps up to attack and tears through the devil's tentacle to reach its head. He digs his chainsaw deep in it and then slashes it in half. However, the zombies are still standing, so Denji decides to kill them too. He pulls the cord again and then begins hacking the zombies in a manic frenzy, saying that he will finally be free of debt now. The next morning, a bunch of official devil hunters arrive at the warehouse, and they find Denji standing in the middle of the massacred zombie corpses. The leader of the devil hunters, Makima, comes to Denji and says that he looks like a hybrid between a human and a devil. She asks him if he killed the zombies here, and he only asks her to hold him as he starts to fall. Makima fulfills his wish and embraces him as he is falling. And then suddenly the chainsaws and the devil helmet melt down, returning Denji to his normal state. He is confused by everything, so Makima lays him on her lap and tells him that she is from the Public Safety Bureau. She tells Denji that he has two options. Either he can become a devil she will kill, or become her pet, whom she will feed well. Denji is too stunned to think anything, and he just asks her what he would be given for breakfast. Maka says that it would be bread, butter, and jam along with some coffee. Denji can't believe his ears, and he thinks that his dream of living a normal life is going to start now. Denji gets into a car with Makima and others, and with a soft smile on her face, she tells him that from now on he is her pet dog. She tells him that she only wants to hear yes from him because she has no need for a dog who doesn't obey its master. Denji is taken back by this because initially he thought that Makima was a kind person and he even fell for her a bit, but she is treating him like a dog already. Thinking about dogs reminds Denji of Paka, and he gets sad, but his sadness is interrupted by the sound of his stomach rumbling. Makimus says that they should stop for breakfast somewhere, and Denji tells her that he has no money. She tells him that it is her treat and even gives him her coat to cover himself. Denji forgets everything he was thinking earlier and falls for Makima once again. Soon they come to a breakfast shack where Denji collapses again because he lost a lot of blood when the chainsaws came out of him. Makima asks him how he turned out like this, and he tells her that his pet devil gave him its heart and powers. Makima says that such a thing has never happened before, but she trusts Denji and says that with her keen sense of smell, she can tell that his devil friend is alive inside him. Denji is really happy to hear this, and then he again faints. When he wakes up, he is in Makima's lap, and he gets up in a hurry. His order is in front of him, and when Makima asks if he can eat it himself, he refuses so that she can feed him like it. Denji then asks Makima if she likes a particular type of man, and she says that she prefers men like him. Denji is on the seventh sky after hearing this, and he is lost in thoughts. Makima takes him to the Devil Hunter headquarters and gives him a uniform to wear. After that, she introduces him to a fellow Devil Hunter and his senior Aki. Makima tells Denji that he is going to work with Aki now, and he throws a tantrum that he wants to work with her instead. Makima speaks softly to him and tells him that if he does good, he will be promoted to work with her. In the city, Denji keeps pestering Aki, asking if Makima has a boyfriend. The irritated Aki takes him to an alley and beats him up before telling him to quit the job because he is not suited for it. He tells Denji that those who join the job with shallow intentions die early, and he is doing him a favor by making him give up now. He throws a cigarette on him and spits on it to put it out, asking Denji not to show his face tomorrow. Aki begins walking away, but then Denji chases after him and hits him with the good old Nutcracker Pro. Aki falls to the ground, and Denji keeps hitting his balls, saying that this is how he fights against men. He tells him that he doesn't care about hunting devils, and he only joined the job because of Makima, but if he can get to eat a delicious meal every day, he is ready to die for it. Aki gets up and attacks him, but Denji returns to his surefire technique and succeeds in knocking him out. He then takes him back to the headquarters where they tell Makima that they can't work with each other. Despite that, she puts Denji in a key squad, saying that it was always meant to have oddballs as an experiment. She also tells Denji that if he ever quits the Devil Hunters or tries to run away, he will be seen as a criminal and instantly killed. Ultimately, it is decided that Aki will take him to his house. The next morning, Denji puts everything he can find on bread and eats it, making a mess of Eki's place. As he begins living the life he always had dreamed of, Aki controls his rage to kick him out. Soon they get a mission to take down a fiend, which is a devil who has taken over a human's body. Denji asks if he is a fiend too, and Aki tells him that he is not, because fiends are easily recognizable because their heads are not like humans. They come to a room where a fiend is eating a bird, and Aki tells Denji to transform and kill it. However, Denji quickly finishes it with an axe, saying that it would be less painful this way. Aki gets angry at this and presses his head to the window, saying that he hates devils because one of them killed his entire family in front of his eyes. He asks Denji if he wants to be friends with devils, and he replies that if there is a devil who wants to be his friend, he will accept it because he has no friends. Aki leaves with that, and then Denji starts picking up the adult magazines from the floor. The only reason he didn't kill the fiend with his chainsaw power was because he didn't want to get blood on them. He then thinks about how he is living the life he always wanted, but something feels missing. He thinks that he is missing an ambition that drives people forward, and his thoughts begin to wander to Makima. He suddenly decides that his immediate goal in life is to touch a girl's jugs, and he keeps thinking about it even as they reach Makima's office. She tells Denji that she is going to assign him a partner today. She calls in his partner, who is a fiend named Power. Makima says that since Power is rather reasonable for a fiend, she has been put under Eki's unit as an experiment too. Denji and Power begin patrolling the city from the rooftops, and he finds that Power is very annoying and vain. She demands he find something to kill because she is thirsting for blood, but he decides to ignore all her flaws for a chance to get physical with her later. They start to rest when they don't find anything, and Power says that it must be because she is really powerful and the small fries are afraid of her. Denji is frustrated, but then suddenly Power smells blood and rushes ahead. She finds a sea cucumber devil on the road and jumps straight to it. She creates a hammer using her blood and immediately squashes the devil with one hit, and Denji can only watch this in shock. Soon the cleanup of the sea cucumber mess starts, and Makima also arrives there to scold Denji and Power. She tells them that a civilian hunter had already taken up the job, and they interfered in his business. She says that maybe Power is not suited for becoming a devil hunter and to protect herself. Power says that Denji ordered her to do so. Denji calls her a liar, and they begin fighting. When Makima tells them to stop, Power flinches and becomes silent. Later, as Denji orders a drink from a vending machine, Power begins playing with a stray cat. She suddenly reveals that she can get along only with cats. Before becoming a fiend, she was a powerful devil, and she hated humans instinctively. Now, she hates devils as well, because one of them kidnapped her pet cat, called Meow. Power says that she will do anything to get back her cat, even if she has to work with the humans she hates. Denji says that he can understand doing something for a cat, but he would understand if it was for a dog or for getting close with a girl. Power asks Denji if he will help her get Meow back if she promises to let him touch her, and he immediately gets fired up, saying that he will kill the devil that kidnapped the poor cat. He gets a leave approved for Power, and they head to the location of the cat kidnapping devil. Power says that if she approaches him, the devil will use the cat as a shield, so Denji has to fight it. They arrive at the countryside, and Power points towards the house where the devil lives. Power leads him towards the house, and Denji asks her if the devil won't use the cat as a hostage if he sees her. Power suddenly stops on hearing this, and Denji realizes that he has been played. He tries attacking her, but she is faster and knocks him out with a blood hammer. She drags him inside the house and gives him to the bat devil she has made a deal with. The bat devil picks Denji up, showing him the injury on his arm that he got from devil hunters. He wants to drink Denji's blood to recover from it, so he squeezes him and drinks his blood. The blood tastes awful, but it instantly regenerates the devil. He drops Denji and gets on the roof, saying that he will need to eat other humans to wipe off the bad taste from his tongue. Denji looks at Power and realizes that he should not have trusted her. Power turns to the bat devil and asks him to return her cat as per their deal. He shows her the cat, but then says that since she brought nasty tasting blood, he will punish her. He swallows the cat along with the cage, and Power is devastated. She recalls how she met Meow in the forest right after she became a fiend. The frail and weak cat was not afraid of her, and she decided to keep it with her just to kill Tai. She became attached to the cat, but then one day, as she was resting on a roof, the bat devil took the cat away and told Power to bring human blood for him if she wanted her cat back. Seeing the devil devour her cat, Power is heartbroken, and she gives Denji a sad gaze before the bat devil grabs her and swallows her whole too. He begins flying towards the city to feast on more humans. But But then he finds that Denji has been latching onto him. The devil decides to finish him off and grabs him tightly. But Denji pulls the cord just then, thinking about how devastated he was when he lost Pitta. He thinks that Power must have felt the same thing when she lost her cat. Suddenly, a chainsaw protrudes from his head, and using it, he slashes off the Bat Devil's arm. They fall on a building, and Denji tells a terrified office girl to run away before she gets eaten. He then charges at the Bat Devil, pushing it down to the road and constantly attacking it. He even tells the scared humans to run away, and the Bat Devil decides to use it as a weakness. He throws a car with a human still inside at Denji, who instinctively retracts the chainsaws on his arms and catches the car. The Bat Devil asks him why he is wasting his strength protecting humans, and Denji says that he doesn't care about humans anyway. He throws the car back at the Bat Devil, and the man inside jumps out just in time. The car hits the Bat's head and explodes, setting it on fire. The Bat is furious by this, so he uses his most powerful attack by sucking in a lot of air and then shooting it out as an ultrasonic cannon. The power of the sound cannon is enough to destroy a building, and thinking that his enemy is dead, the Bat Devil decides to eat the human to restore his strength. However, Denji is not dead yet. As he pulls the cord and the chainsaw starts revving, the Bat Devil asks him how he is still alive. Denji yells that he has been through worse things than this, and he is definitely not going to die till he gets a girlfriend. The devil is terrified of his intensity now, and he drops the human and throws a rock to keep Denji away. Denji just slashes the rock in half and then charges towards the devil, cutting his second arm away too. He hits him against the building and then slashes his stomach, making his guts spill out explosively. Soon, Power opens her eyes in Denji's arms, tightly clutching Meow's cage in her hand. She asks him why he saved her when she tried killing him. Power calls him an idiot, and soon after that she tells him that she will fulfill her promise and let him cop a feel. Denji is super excited now, but as he is shouting and cheating, his arm suddenly gets cut off. A huge worm-like devil takes away the cut arm and eats it while Denji can only watch. He asks Power if she can fight, but she tells him that she cannot even move. She asks him to take Meow and run, but Denji decides to fight. He pulls the cord, but only a tiny chainsaw comes out of his head because he has lost too much blood. Denji approaches the worm devil, who tells him that the Bat Devil was her boyfriend and she is not happy, but he is killed. She decides to let Denji go because he looks cute, but she plans to kill the girl and the cat. Denji gets ready to fight because he can't let his reward be snatched. So, the worm devil attacks him. He dodges her tentacles and jumps around, but she grabs him and slams him into a building. Denji can only keep running away from the worm devil's attacks, but then he finds an opening to get close and land a punch on her. However, the worm devil hits him away again. She says that she can't believe her boyfriend lost to such a weakling. She tells Denji that he is going to die now, but he declares that he is not going to die before he has got his hands on some melons. The worm devil calls it a pathetic dream, and that hits a nerve. Denji recalls how everyone calls his dream pathetic, and he rushes angrily at the devil, dodging her attacks. He climbs on top of her and gives her a cut with the tiny saw on his head. He yells that his dream is equal to other people's dream of revenge or protecting their family. He tells the worm devil that if she loses to him, her dream of eating all humans is below his dream of being naughty with a girl. The worm devil attacks him, and Denji dodges her attacks while using the intestines of the Bat Devil to tie her feet and bring her down. He manages to hurt her again, but then the devil starts slapping him with her tentacle arms. Denji is about to collapse, but he mans up and gets up to fight again. He runs around and then hides under the mess to attack the worm devil from behind. He grabs her hair and then stabs her with his chainsaw, but she also manages to pierce him with her tongue. She is about to eat him when suddenly Aki arrives there. He looks at the worm devil through a fox gesture he is doing with his hand, and then on his command, the head of the fox devil comes out of nowhere and bites off the worm devil's head, saving Denji. It swallows the head and then vanishes just as the other members of the squad arrive there. Iki tells the newbies to help the civilians evacuate and asks his partner Hyemno to look out for any remaining devils. Aki then takes Denji to the hospital, where he soon wakes up fully restored. Even his severed arm has been reattached after he received a blood transfusion. Aki is peeling apples for him, and he says that he is really like a devil. Denji tells him that he was also being friends with a devil, and Aki calls him an ignorant bee. He explains that devil hunters make contracts with devils to use their power. He has a contract with the fox devil who consumes a part of his body every time he calls for her help, and this time he gave her some of his skin. Aki then asks him about what Power did, and Denji refuses refuses to rat her out. He says that she is a good person and even feigns ignorance about his blood that was smeared on the ground outside the Bat Devil's house. Aki accuses him of siding with the devils again, but then he remembers how the people Denji saved were grateful to the Chainsaw Devil. He sees some hope in Denji, so he tells him that he won't investigate further and won't report negative things to their superiors, but only on one condition. He tells Denji to follow his advice and instructions seriously because he has no morals and no idea how the world works. If he does that, he can protect his current lifestyle. Denji agrees, saying that he may not have a lofty goal like the others, but he is dead serious about achieving his cheap dream, so he will work with him. After that, Eki goes outside where Power asks him to free her from the cuffs now that she has been proven innocent. He does so despite his senior no warning against it. He says that as devil hunters, they will use devils and friends to their advantage, but it doesn't mean that he is friends with them. After that, Aki goes to report about the incident to Makima, and he fabricates a story to protect Denji and Power. She accepts the story despite knowing that it is a lie and tells Aki that he has become more laid back since he started living with Denji. The next day, Aki gets up early to do all the household chores while Denji keeps on being a freeloader. As Aki is preparing lunch, someone violently knocks on their door, and when they don't open it, the visitor breaks the lock. It turns out to be Power and Meow who are going to live with them from today. Aki immediately calls Makima to complain, but she tells him that she decided to let Power alive with him because he is the only one who can keep her and Denji under a leash. Aki complains, but as Maka says that she can't trust anyone besides him, the simp inside him wakes up and he takes the job. Living with Power proves more of a nuisance than even Denji because she refuses to eat vegetables, flush the toilet, or even take a bath. However, it has brought Denji and Aki on the same team. Later that day, as Denji is cleaning the toilet, Power comes there and tells him that it is time for him to take the reward he was promised. Denji's heart starts thumping loudly as Power sits on the toilet seat and tells him that he only has 3 squeezes for saving her and Meow from the bat. Denji is out of his game for the entire day because of it. And the next day, as Makima is teaching him things about paperwork, she notices that he looks distressed. She asks him what happened, and he opens up about how his dream of touching a girl turned out to be revolting instead of feeling good. Makima takes this chance and suddenly grabs his hand, flirting with him and telling him that the closer he is to a person, the better such naughty things feel. She holds his and caresses her face and bites his finger, giving Denji a feeling that he can't begin to put into words. As she makes him touch her marshmallows, Denji snaps and falls from his chair. Makima gets dangerously close to his lips and then asks him if he will do something for her. He is willing to do anything she asks. So Makima takes a seat and tells him to defeat the Gunva level for her. She reveals that the Gunva level first appeared 13 years ago in the country of guns, USA, but no one knows where it is now. Makima says that it is the strongest devil that every devil hunter wants to kill and claims that Denji might be the only one who can do that. As a reward, she tells Denji that if he succeeds in killing the Gunva level, she will fulfill his one wish no matter what he asks for. Denji is ecstatic and in disbelief. So, Makima explains that she is making this promise only because the Gun Devil is super strong. She explains that the fears of humans turn into devils, and the more they fear a thing, the more powerful the devil is. Many years ago, the gun business bloomed as people started buying guns to fight devils. But things quickly got out of hand, and gun violence began erupting everywhere. The media showcased this a lot, and a lot of people began fearing guns. The final act was when a terrorist attack shook America, and that very day the gun devil first made his appearance. She tells him about Iki's past too. His family used to live in a cold region in the north, and one day as his parents were spending quality time with his sickly younger brother, Aki came there and asked his dad to come out and play with him. His dad told him to play by himself because his brother wasn't well, and that irritated the little Aki because his brother was never healthy. His brother, however, really wanted to play with him, so he went outside with him. Aki tried shooing him away by throwing a snowball at him, but that only led to a playful snowball fight between them. After that, Iki told his brother to head home and bring his glove so that they could play catch. Suddenly, a fast-moving object hit the house with such great force that it was leveled in an instant, killing Iki's entire family. Makima tells Denji that on that day, the gun devil killed 1.2 million people in just 5 minutes and then disappeared. This caused a massive panic all over the world, and the people began fearing devils even more, which increased their strength greatly. Makima asks Denji if he can kill something that strong, and he says that if he works seriously, it will be a piece of cake. Makima says that their first step will be to find the gun devil, and for that, she brings out a small box containing some bullets stuck to each other. She explains that these are the fragments of the Gundevil's flesh that they have collected. The fragments are strongly attracted to each other, and if they can get a big enough lump, it will point them towards the gun evil. She also tells him that any devil who eats a fragment of gun evil becomes much stronger as well. Soon after that, Aki and his team go to a hotel that has been possessed by a devil. Aki has brought a fragment of the Gunnin devil along, and since it reacts to the devil inside the hotel, it is confirmed that their target has eaten a part of the gun evil as well. Denji and Power are quite carefree, and Aki keeps them tamed by offering them chewing gum. However, he still keeps yelling at them, and Himeno tells him to stop being so strict with them. She suddenly decides to give the person who kills the devil a reward of kissing them on the cheek. While Denji is initially flustered, he soon snaps out of it as he thinks about Makima. He says that he has decided who his first kiss is going to be, and he will do anything for her. However, when Himeno tells him that if he kills the devil, she will tongue kiss him. Don't go up on your own. It's dangerous. They begin fighting for the right to get kissed by Himeno. And Power and the scaredy girl named Kabne also join them. Himeno asks Aki what he thinks about the new recruits, and he says that they will either die within a year or quit. She just asks him to not die on her, and that brings back the memories of their first meeting. Hio was at the grave of her former partner when her teacher brought the young Iki to her, telling him that he was her new partner. Himeno told him that all her partners died because they were young and useless, and asked him not to die on her. Back to the present. A door opens in front of the group, and a small devil which is just a head and two hands comes out. It leaps at the hunters, but Himeno stops at midair with her power, and then Power slashes it. Power says that the devil froze because of her fear, but Himeno tells her that it was because of her. She has a contract with the ghost devil, and she can use its right arm, because she sacrificed her right eye to it. They begin walking upstairs to find the devil, but AI finds the same blood stain from the devil they just killed upstairs. He then looks at the floor number and tells everyone that they climbed up from the 8th floor, but they are back on it. He decides to check the theory and rushes downstairs only to come back to the 8th floor from the stairs going up. Everyone is confused by this now, and they wonder when did they get into a Christopher Nolan movie. Himeno also wants to confirm it, so she tells Kabne to make a peace sign, and then goes downstairs. She comes to the 8th floor from the top 2, and the key realizes that it is the ability of the devil. He also uses Kabne as a marker and places her in front of a door as he enters the room. There is another room on the other side of the window, and as he goes into the second room and then exits it, he appears from the door behind Kobe. Denji has also found out the same thing in the meantime, and everyone realizes that they can't leave the 8th floor. Soon, everyone enters a room to figure out their strategy going forward. Aki finds that the gun devil's flesh is not reacting anymore, and Himeno believes that the devil they are dealing with is a rather crafty one. Arai asks what will happen if they stay here for too long, and Kabne begins shivering as she says that they will all die of starvation here. Arai tries to motivate her, but she says that she was basically forced into becoming a devil hunter by her parents. They wanted to get her smart younger brother into college, so she had to earn money, and her only two choices were becoming an OnlyFans model or a devil hunter. She begins crying that she made the wrong decision, and Power starts laughing at her because she finds her expressions funny. As Himeno tries to console Kobe, Aki notices something. He says that the clock on this room is stuck at 18 minutes past 8, and all the other clocks on this floor are the same. He thinks that if the devil froze time on this floor, then no devil hunter may come here to help them. Denji counts that as a win because now he can sleep without bothering to wake up on time, and Aki is in disbelief. Soon Himeno wakes up Denji, and he asks her if they are out of the hotel yet. She tells him that Aki is still looking for the devil. AI is too nervous and holed up in a room. Kabne panicked that they were running out of water and tried drinking from the toilet bowl, so Himeno knocked her out. As for Power, she is still as cheerful and crazy as ever, so that's a relief. The three of them watch over the two scared people, and soon Himeno lights her last stick. Denji notices that the brand is the same one as Aki's, and Himeno proudly says that she was the one who got Aki into smoking. It was just another day, and she offered Aki a smoke, but he refused, saying that it was not good for health. She told him that devil hunters die young anyway, so he should try it, but he was determined that he would not die soon. He was relieved to hear this because she was emotionally scarred by all her partners dying. One day, Aki saw a woman slapping Himeno in the market and learned that she was the girlfriend of his previous partner who had come here to take out her anger on her. Himeno told Aki that it was fine, but he was not fine with it. He pursued the woman and stuck some chewing gum in her hair, and when he told Himeno about it, she burst out laughing. She took him out for dinner, and repeated what her teacher once told her. He used to say that the devils do not fear the strongest or bravest hunters, but rather the craziest ones. She told him that he would survive for a long time, and he thought she was being sarcastic. She offered him another cigarette, telling him to try it for her. He told her that it would be the first and last cigarette he ever smoked, but that was not true. Back to the present, Aki comes into the room to ask Hino for a cigarette, and on learning that she is smoking the last one, he takes it from her mouth and begins smoking it. As Denji freaks out about it being an indirect kiss, Aki tells him to shut up as he reveals the bad news. The devil power killed earlier has started growing bigger and more twisted. Everyone goes outside to face the devil that has grown like a tumor with only vague shapes of human faces to make out of it. The devil offers a contract to the humans, telling them to let him eat Denji, and then he will let everyone out without harm. Just then, Kabne comes out of her room trembling, but holding a knife as she tells Denji to get eaten. She charges at him, but Aki kicks the knife out of her hands, and then Himno knocks her. She asks Aki to call the fox to eat the devil, but he fails to do so because this space seems to be isolated from reality. Hio tries to rip apart the devil using her ghost hand, but the devil grows even bigger after receiving damage. He laughs, saying that this is not his real body and his heart is not even on the 8th floor. He tells the hunters that they are inside his belly and the only way to get out is to accept the contract. Denji doesn't believe that the devil will let anyone out even after eating him. But Himno tells him that if the devil signs a contract with a human, he is forced to uphold his side of the contract if the humans do the same. AI also comes out of the room to advocate for killing Denji, but Aki is against it because he thinks that the devil must have some important reasons to make the demand. Hio agrees with him, and Power wants to kill Denji because she needs to get home and feed Meow. Well, it is decided that they won't kill Denji, and they wait in the hallways as the abomination grows bigger and keeps approaching them. Himno asks Saki if he even has a plan, and he says that if push comes to shove, he will use his sword. Hio immediately forbids him and tells Denji that she will have to kill him before Aki uses the sword. Meanwhile, Power eats all the food they had, and AI gets angry at her. As he is quarreling with her, Kobe comes to the room with a knife. She is completely off her rocker, and she says that it is Power's fault that they are trapped here. Arai tries to tell her that it is not possible, so Kabni accuses him of siding with devils and tries attacking him, causing him to freak out. Their fear strengthens the devil, and it starts growing rapidly. Aki and others run away from it, and the devil laughs, telling them to fear it because it is the devil of eternity. The floor suddenly starts tilting as the shape of the hotel is modified, and then a giant hole opens up in the middle of it, where the eternity devil's mouth opens wide to swallow Denji. Arai and Kobe beg you to sacrifice Denji, but he decides to use the sword instead. Himeno doesn't want that, so she restrains him with her ghost arm, saying that if Aki uses the sword they will get out, but he will lose a great chunk of his life, and she won't let that happen. Just then, Arai tackles Denji and Kabni tries to stab him, but Aki comes in the way and gets stabbed instead. Everyone is shocked, and as Aki gets up, he says that while Denji is the worst person he has ever seen, he acknowledges his guts, and he wants comrades like him to help him kill the gun evil. He panics on seeing Aki injured and wonders what she should do now. Kobe says that it is all Denji's fault, and if he gets eaten, everything will be solved. Denji has had enough of the bickering, so he decides to jump into the devil's mouth, but he is not going down without a fight. He has seen that the Eternity Devil is afraid of his chainsaw, and he feels pain when he is hurt. So, he plans to tear him apart from the inside till he dies because of the pain. And in case he succeeds, he wants him to not forget the kiss she has promised him. Denji tells Aki that he didn't need to protect him because he is tired of owing other people anything, and if they get out of it, they are even. He then pulls the cord and jumps into the mouth of the Eternity Devil. The devil swallows him and looks pleased, but then Denji tears apart its mouth as he comes out as the Chainsaw Man. He keeps tearing apart the Eternity Devil, who attacks him constantly despite the pain. He tells Denji that he won't find his heart here and won't be able to kill him, while saying that he is much weaker than he used to be. Everyone is horrified by this scene of carnage, but Power tells them that Denji is losing a lot of blood, and at this rate, he will lose strength and the chainsaw will retract. The mouths inside the Eternity Devil start biting him, and he feels that he doesn't have enough power. So, he just takes a huge bite from the devil's flesh itself to regain his energy. He begins hacking the Eternity Devil again, saying that his blood tastes like nasty sewer water, but the look of pain on his face tastes like strawberry jam. In that moment, Himno realizes that she has never seen a crazier person than Denji. Her teacher used to tell her that devils fear crazy devil hunters because they are not easy to scare. They are not easy to understand as well. And devils fear what they cannot understand just like humans do. Her master told her that she or I were not cut out to be crazy. Even though they had the lofty ambition to kill the gun devil, he told her to train Aki hard because at the rate he is going, he would soon find enough pieces to lead him to gun evil. He didn't want that at any cost. So, she proposed to Aki that they both go private. They won't have to chase after the gun level and they would earn a decent amount of money and have time for themselves. He refused, saying that he is never going private because the only place that has access to Gunnival's flesh is the Public Safety Bureau. Himno knew that Aki would definitely die if he fought against the Gunval level because he lacked the crazy element. However, as she sees Denji in action now, she thinks that if anyone is crazy enough to beat the Gunval level, it is him. Denji suddenly falls to the ground because of the Eternity Devil's attack, and Himno supports him by pulling his cord to activate his chainsaws again. Denji laughs, saying that he will keep cutting the Eternity Devil and drinking its blood to keep recovering his energy. And this is the closest humanity will get to a perpetual motion machine. He keeps attacking the devil without rest, even as the people watching him lose energy from starvation and retire to beds. Himno keeps an eye on him, and she is there to witness the end of the battle after 3 long days of nonstop fighting. She goes to the room and cuddles with a saying that they should get some rest now because everything is over. Below them, the Eternity Devil has finally succumbed to the never-ending pain, and it offers its heart to Denji so that he can kill him and put him out of his misery. Denji does that without wasting time, and with that, they exit the hotel. Denji feels relieved that they arrived outside safely and even recovered a piece of the gun's flesh when suddenly he collapses. He supports him and then lifts him on her back to take him to the hospital while Power supports Aki. A couple days later, Aki has recovered and just wrapped up a mission with Himno. She suggests that they throw a party for the new recruits because AI and Kobne are guilt-ridden because they wanted to kill Denji earlier. They even want to quit the bureau because of that, and she thinks that talking freely over a party will help their group bond better. Aki knows that Himno just wants to drink, but he agrees for the party. But he wants it this week because Makima is going to another city the next week. He wants her to be there. And then Himno remarks that Makima has stayed in this city longer than usual because of Denji. And now she is curious about what she knows about the Chainsaw Devil's power. They throw the party a couple days later, and all the members of their group are there. Denji is barely literate, so he can't even read the items on the menu, but he is more interested in the promised kiss than food anyway. He asks Himno about it, and she tells him that she needs to get a little drunk to do that, and asks Denji to forgive everyone for trying to kill him. Just then, a senior tells Denji to get up and introduce himself properly, but Eki tells him not to reveal about his contract devil to those he doesn't absolutely trust. Denji tells everyone that he is 16 and his hobbies are eating and sleeping. AI introduces himself quite stiffly and says that he has a contract with the Fox Devil just like a key. Kobne introduces herself too, but keeps her devil a secret. They learn that one person of their squad died just yesterday, and Himno loudly prays for his soul because she is wasted. One senior tells Denji to beware of her when she is drunk because she kisses everyone. And Denji is happy because that is just what he wants. As he says that it is going to be his first kiss, Maka arrives there and asks what he is talking about. Denji freaks out and acts like it is nothing. But when Himno asks if he doesn't want the kiss, he immediately folds. He is torn between not kissing another girl in front of Maka, who looks mildly jealous, and not missing out on a French kiss experience. He decides to change the topic to the devils with Gun and Devil's flesh. Aki also asks Maka if she knows something about the Chainsaw Devil. She is not telling them. She tells him that she will only reveal the secret if he can outdrink her. So he accepts the challenge, and Himno jumps on it too. Maka outdrinks both of them, and everyone else is fun too. Suddenly, Himno gets close to Denji and kisses him with Makima staring intently at them. Denji feels like he is in heaven when suddenly he feels something weird flowing inside his mouth. He realizes that it is Himno's vomit. And while he is disgusted, the seniors laugh because they knew this was going to happen. Denji can't even help it but swallow it all. And moments later, he is puking himself in the toilet. AI helps him saying that he is jealous of Denji because he doesn't have the talent to be a devil hunter. Denji asks him how he can be jealous of a man whose first kiss tasted like vomit and then gets back to it. Soon the party is over and everyone is outside, but Makima can't see Denji anywhere. Someone tells her that he was passed out and Himno carried him to her place. Denji soon wakes up in Himno's room thirsting for water when she comes there and feeds him some alcohol through a kiss. She is too drunk to realize that she brought him here, and Denji gets dizzy because of the little alcohol. He gets close to him saying that she saw that he likes Maka. She tells him to give up on that vile woman and says that even Aki should stop admiring Maka. She then suddenly lays down next to Denji and begins caressing his lips before asking him if he wants to do it with her. Denji gets flustered on hearing this, and even though he is aroused, he doesn't trust the woman who just tainted his first kiss with her vomit. But his natural urges get in the way of his thoughts, and he surrenders to them. She finds a lollipop in his pocket. Seeing that, Denji immediately recalls that earlier when he was depressed after the puke kiss, Makima told him to go out and get some fresh air. While he was standing outside, she came to him with some hangover medicine. Denji complained to her that his first kiss was ruined and asked her if he would always think about puke whenever he kissed someone. Maka suddenly put the lollipop she was sucking into his mouth, telling him that he will never forget the taste, but he doesn't have to worry about it because he will have his first taste of many other things in the future. Denji was blown away as Maka told him that this was his first indirect kiss. Back to the present, Denji lies on the floor staring at the lollipop, while Himno sleeps carefree on the bed. He is determined that the first time he sleeps with a woman, it will be Maka, and for that he is willing to let go of a golden chance like this. The next morning, Himno wakes him up and takes him to the balcony for breakfast. She claims that she doesn't recall anything about what happened last night and asks if she forced herself on him. Denji clearly tells her that he doesn't want to do anything with a gross woman like her, and he is saving himself for Maka. He loudly says that she is glad that she didn't do anything because he is still a minor and she would have ended up in jail otherwise. She then asks Denji if he really likes Maka, even if her personality may be shitty. He affirms confidently, and then Himno offers to act as his wingman. Denji can't believe that, but then Himno tells him that he will also have to help set her up with a key. Denji accepts the terms of their alliance, and Himno says that they should treat each other as friends. Now on the other hand, Makima and another devil hunter are heading to another city to talk to their superiors. They are in the train, and just as the train starts moving, a bunch of gangsters who were hiding as normal passengers shoot them, killing them with just one shot each. Unaware of this, Denji and his friends are having lunch with Himno, and the other devil hunters are also busy with their jobs. None of them have noticed that the people around them are hiding guns, and just as they get a chance, they shoot them. Denji hears some gunshots and wonders what is going on, but no one else pays it any mind. Just then, the man sitting next to them begins talking about how the food here is awful. Denji says that it is pretty good for him, and the man says that it must be because he was never treated to good food in his childhood and his taste buds didn't mature. He begins talking about his grandfather who used to take him out for dinner in good restaurants, and then mentions that he was a part of the mafia. The man suddenly shows Denji a picture of his grandpa, who is the same old bastard who used to handle him. Denji asks him what he wants now, and the man replies that the gun devil wants his heart, and he wants revenge on him. He suddenly pulls out a gun and shoots Denji in the head, and then begins shooting the rest of his friends too. Everyone tries to dodge, and then Power punches the man away. The man jumps up, and Aki immediately calls the fox spirit to consume him. He then looks around to see Denji fatally wounded, and even Himno is in critical condition as she also got shot. Suddenly, the fox devil tells Aki that he put something ridiculously nasty in his mouth that is neither human nor devil. The very next moment, the fox spirit is cut open, and the man comes out with swords protruding from his hands and head. Iki realizes that they are in trouble, so he asks Power to help the other two while he draws his sword, which is just a giant nail. The sword devil lands on the ground, and Aki charges at him from behind, stabbing him with his nail sword. A voice counts 3 as he does so, and then the sword devil attacks him. Aki dodges his attacks, and then stabs him again with the voice counting 2 this time. He then strikes him one more time, and as the voice counts 1, the sword devil pushes Aki away. He tells him that he is not hurt by his attacks, but then Aki tells the cursed devil to finish him. The voice counts to 0, and then suddenly a huge pale hand of the cursed devil grabs the sword devil and then sucks the life out of him. The sword devil is left dead on the ground, and then Aki asks Power if Himno is fine. She tells him that she needs medical aid, and then Aki thinks about how the man could have gotten a gun in Japan because only devil hunters and police officers are allowed to have them. He thinks that saving Himno takes priority right now, but before he can do anything, a girl comes there and remarks that the cursed devil can kill anyone in 3 strikes, which is an interesting power to have. She then moves to the sword devil and helps him back on his feet, and he is completely fine even after being killed by the curse. The girl asks him why he lost, and he replies that he grossly underestimated his opponent. She asks him to quickly finish him this time, and the Sword Devil gets ready to strike. Aki tries to defend, but before he can even notice it, the Sword Devil is behind him, and he has already dealt a deep cut to his chest. Aki falls to his knees, and Himno asks Power to help him. She says that she can't fight against the man who is too fast for her to see. And even the Ghost Devil refuses to fight against the girl, claiming that she is too dangerous. Himno coughs up some blood and then realizes something. She tells her Ghost Devil that she will give her entire body to her, so she should also give her entire strength to her. The Ghost Devil accepts the deal and appears in her complete form. She attacks the Sword Devil with hundreds of arms, and he keeps slashing them away. As her arms vanish, she commands the Ghost Devil to subdue the Sword Devil. The ghost is about to eat him, and Himno thinks that she succeeded in saving Eki. She tells him to live and mourn her death. But then suddenly the other girl commands the Snake Devil, who eats away the Ghost Devil in an instant. As Aki turns to Himno after that, he finds that she has vanished and only her clothes and eye patch are on the ground. Aki is devastated, and the Snake Girl decides to pay no attention to him. Power has also run away, but she doesn't care about her either. She says that they should just get the Chainsaw Devil's heart and return. But the Ghost Devil has one last thing to do for him. One severed arm crawls towards Denji and pulls his cord, activating his chainsaw powers. He gets back on his feet, and the Snake Girl tells the Sword Devil to kill him, but not damage the heart. Denji says that he doesn't know anything else, but he knows that they are bad people, and he likes bad people because no one complains when he kills them. Denji leaps towards the Sword Devil with a mad frenzy, and he is fully alert to fight him. In the meantime, the Snake Girl contacts her friends to bring her back up. She then notices the dust cloud kicked up by Denji, and Sword Devil's fight. Denji pushes the Sword Devil back, but he soon gains the upper hand and pushes him away. He begins hitting Denji with powerful slashes, but it is not enough to keep him down. Just then, two goons come there and point their guns at Denji. The Sword Devil tells them not to shoot the heart, but before they can do anything, Denji attacks them and takes them down one by one. Using this chance, the Sword Devil attacks him from his unguarded spot and deals a cut on him. Suddenly, one of the goons begins shooting at him. So, Denji first disarms him and then takes him hostage, telling the Sword Devil to back up if he doesn't want his comrade to die. The Sword Devil kneels and Denji thinks that he is giving up, but the very next moment, he is behind him, having completely completed his attack. Denji and the hostage are slashed in half, and then the Sword Devil picks up his severed torso, saying that they need to take it back as soon as possible. Suddenly, his devil powers wear off and he returns to being a human. On the other hand, the rest of the devil hunters are dead, too. People who killed Makima perform a final check on her, and then decide to mix among the civilians to escape. However, Makima suddenly comes back from the dead, and the men try to attack her again, but they don't achieve much. Meanwhile, two devil hunters are waiting for Makima to arrive at the Kyoto railway station, when an office worker comes there and informs them that all the devil hunters in Tokyo have been attacked all at once. The two devil hunters are shocked, and they wonder if Makima is also dead, and they were wasting their time waiting for her. Just then, the train arrives, and the civilians run outside in terror from all the coaches. Makima comes out smeared in blood and tells the two hunters that there are bodies of 4 attackers inside and they have guns on them. She asks them to clear the bodies and investigate further. They ask her if she was shot, and she replies that she was not, and the blood on her clothes belongs to the enemies who have joined the Rangoku, an ace club inside the train. They begin walking ahead, and the two hunters report that they do not have a precise report about the attack in Tokyo. They suggest going there to help the remaining devil hunters, but Maka says that they won't make it in time. Instead, she wants to solve everything from here. She asks the hunters to get her 30 death row inmates and the exclusive access to the highest shrine in the city along with a fresh set of clothes. Soon, she finishes changing inside a shrine, and the hunters tell her that the inmates have arrived. Back in Tokyo, Sword Devil and his men are dragging Denji's body to their van when suddenly one of them stops because he hears a crow calling nearby. He is confused and anxious and tells his comrades that he isn't feeling well. Before he can elaborate, he is suddenly crushed under immense pressure and his blood scatters everywhere, horrifying everyone. The Snake Girl contacts her other teams to confirm if Makima is truly dead. but the guy she contacts also gets flattened up out of nowhere. The snake girl panics because she knows that only Makima can do something like this. Makima is in the shrine with the inmates, sitting in rows blindfolded. Even the two devil hunters are blindfolded because Makima is such a big shot that ordinary devil hunters are not allowed to see her powers in action. Makima goes to an inmate and asks him to take the name of her next target. As soon as he takes the name, she twists her hands around, and the guy carrying Denji in Tokyo is suddenly twisted and crushed to death, while the inmate also falls dead. Maka keeps on following the same pattern, asking the inmates to take a name and then killing that person at the expense of their lives. Even those who try to run away are flattened and imploded to death. Everyone drops dead one by one. But when only the two main enemies are left, the carnage suddenly stops because Makima has run out of the death row prisoners. She tells the two hunters to take off their blindfolds, and they are shocked to see all the men in front of them dead. Makima says that this is all she could do from here, so she is going back to Tokyo. Now in Tokyo, Snake Girl and Sword Devil plan to escape from the place while they can. The Sword Devil tries taking Denji with him, when suddenly he notices that one of the devil hunters survived the attack. It is none other than Kobni, who survived only because AI protected her from the attack even after he was shot in the neck. She nervously asks the Snake Girl and Sword Devil if they are with the shooters, and the Snake Girl sees something in her that forces her to call the Snake Devil for help. Kobne dodges the Snake Devil's tail and starts running on it towards the enemies. Sword Devil shoots her, but she dodges the bullets and then hacks off his arm. She grabs his gun and shoots him instead. And when Snake Girl tries shooting her, she easily dodges the first few bullets and then takes Denji as a shield. The Snake Girl notices that she can't shoot Kobne, and her partner is also in terrible shape. So she pushes him into the van and then begins driving away, barely avoiding some of Kobne's shots. Once the attackers are out of sight, Kobne breaks down, apologizing to Denji for trying to kill him in the hotel. When the shooter tried killing her after getting all, she quickly moved behind and made her shoot herself. Kobne feels like she is going crazy because of the job, and she thinks that she will tell Himeno that she is quitting this job the next time she sees her. Later, Makima returns to Tokyo to find another survivor among the devil hunters. He tells her that most of the members from groups 1 to 4 have been eliminated, except for the non-humans. The higher-ups have told him that all 4 groups are to be merged into the 4th squad now, which will directly be under Makima's command. She keeps a poker face even after hearing all this. And then the man hands in his resignation letter because he doesn't want to do a job where death is almost certain. The next day, Eki wakes up in a hospital room with Denji and Power there, reading manga and eating apples. They don't really seem to care about anything and get into a fight when Power demands Denji give her the apple. He tells her that there is no food for those who run away from the enemy, and she tells him that she just left to have a quick meal to get some strength. As they fight, Aki suddenly gets up and asks them who survived from their team. Denji tells him that Kobni and some other guy who resigned just after were the only human survivors. He says that Makima has called him and Power, so they are going and they are taking the apples with them. Aki looks really depressed, so Denji leaves just one apple behind for him. Once he is left alone, Aki draws his sword and asks the cursed devil how long he has to live. The devil tells him that he only has 2 years, and he puts the sword back immediately. He tries lighting a cigarette, but keeps struggling with a lighter. Just as he lights it, he remembers Himeno and all the times she used to offer him a lighter when they smoked together. He drops the cigarette from his mouth and then crushes it as tears begin rolling down his eyes. Denji stands outside the door listening to all this, but now he can't enter the room. But then suddenly he wonders why he did not cry for her, because she was the first person who wanted to be his friend. He recalls how sad he was when Pitta died, but now that he thinks about it, he is not sad for him. He thinks that he won't be sad about Powers or Aki's passing as well. Denji believes that even if Maka dies, he will only be sad for a little while and then return to being cheerful as ever because he is living the comfortable life he always wanted. He wonders if he lost his human emotions when he lost his human heart, but then decides not to think about things that are not fun. He and Power go away, and just then the 2 devil hunters from Kyoto enter Aki's room. They see him crying and wonder if they should come back later, but Aki asks them who they are. The girl tells him that they are from Kyoto, and Makima asks them to guide the 4th Division. On their advice, Aki tries summoning the Fox Devil, but it doesn't come out. The quiet hunters tell him that the fox was disgusted by the sword devil he fed her, and she may never come to help Aki again. They also know that he can't use the cursed sword a lot of times now. So they are here to tell him to make a contract with a powerful devil if he wants to be useful to the special division. They tell him that he can quit to make things easier for himself. But Aki refuses to quit as the devils that killed his parents and friends are still alive. The guest hunters are pleased to hear this and tell Aki that they will be back tomorrow for the rest of the procedure. Just as they leave, another person comes in. Anaki's eyes widen as he sees her face. On the other hand, Maka leads Denji and Power to a graveyard, saying that after the recent incident, she wants to train their squad to become stronger. Since she is going to be busy with other things, she has decided to bring out a very experienced teacher for them. She leads them to the teacher, but before she can introduce him, he asks her to be silent. He has some questions for Denji and Power. He asks them what they felt about their comrades dying, and they reply that it was just whatever. He asks if they want revenge, and they reply that revenge is gloomy stuff, and they don't want it. Finally, the man asks them whose side they are on, humans or devils. Denji replies that he will side with whoever takes care of him, and Power says that she is on the side of whoever is winning. The man turns around and tells them that they scored full marks in his test, and he already likes them. He accepts them as his students and tells Maka to go away. Denji tries reaching to her, but then the man suddenly puts his arms around him and Power. He introduces himself as Kishib, a devil hunter with the 1st Division, and tells them that he prefers to be called a teacher. He likes alcohol, women, and killing devils. Denji and Power don't make anything of it. And then suddenly, Kishi grabs their necks tightly and snaps them. They fall to the ground, unable to move. Kishi says that they have the same weakness as humans, and once their necks are snapped, they are as useless as other humans. However, he knows that what makes them special is that they can recover by drinking blood. He pours blood in their mouth from a pouch he swiped from a blood bank, and both Denji and Power get up. They ask him why he strangled them earlier, and Kishi says that he has trained a lot of humans but no devils before, so he was not sure about what to do. Finally, an idea came to his alcohol-powered brain. Kishi claims that he is the strongest devil hunter, and the devil who can defeat him must be the strongest too. That is why he has decided to train Denji and Power to be strong enough to take him down.